What's going on, guys? Krusty Case here from the Gold Boys Network, coming in with the MLB slate preview for September 10th. Before we hop into this, I want to remind you all you can get all these odds at FanDuel Sportsbook. Let's start this slate. Excuse me, my voice is a little raspy. I had a root canal, so dealing with some swelling over here, but we're going to get through it. So the first one, the Colorado Rockies taking on the Detroit Tigers. Brady Blaylock versus Kyler Montero. I think for me here, it's got to be the Tigers. I mean, this is a steep price to pay, so I don't love it. Definitely think you can find some better games to bet on. Probably one I will not be putting any money on. But Kyler Montero has been pretty sneaky good for this Tigers team overall. Not too bad. Gets a Rockies team who's not hitting righties well, really hitting anybody well. So it feels like a spot where he can continue to pitch well. Brady Blaylock, really struggling this season. Gave up a ton of hard contact in his last start. I mean, Tigers, not necessarily like the best offensive team, but a team that can definitely do some damage in the right spot. They've got some big lefties who I think can get to Blaylock in particular. So I really do think the Tigers pick up the win here in this one. Next one, the Miami Marlins taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Adam Oller, and the Pirates yet to announce a starter. So a little tricky here. I mean, it's tough to really know who Pirates are going to put out. So don't love necessarily picking anything in this game yet. This will be one of those ones where I'll just leave something in the comments as to what I'm playing in this game once we get a starter. Our next one, the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. Taj Bradley versus Ranger Suarez. I love the Phillies in this spot. Minus 165 on the money line. It's a little steep, obviously. Pair it with something else. But in my opinion, I mean, you're getting the better pitcher in this spot with a much better lineup backing him at a price that, in my opinion, felt a little short. I thought the Phillies would be closer to minus 200, so I will gladly take the minus 165 price tag here. Do like Ranger Suarez strikeouts to an extent. Do like Taj Bradley strikeouts as well. I think both guys can cover their Ks in this matchup. Our next one, the Atlanta Braves taking on the Nationals. Ronaldo Lopez versus Mackenzie Gore. Last time Mackenzie Gore saw this Braves team, couldn't really miss a bat. It was a little interesting because he actually has some pretty good success against them in his career. But that last time just was not good. So don't necessarily expect him to pitch better in this spot. Do think the Braves are the right side here. Maybe pair it with the Phillies. I mean, you probably get a decent plus money there because you got minus 165, minus 155. Two pretty nice prices to pair. But do like the Braves. Do think Ronaldo Lopez continues to just pitch as well as he has all season. This guy's been easily the most consistent Braves starter.
Wait, before we get back to the picks, I wanted to thank you all for watching. Friends don't let friends watch videos without hitting the like button. So go ahead and press the thumbs up button and like the video. If you're new here and not subscribed, you should go ahead and do so because we're dropping new content each and every day on the Gold Boys Network. We strive to cover every sport and give out picks and analysis and valuable information for free on the Gold Boys Network. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell so you can get notified when we drop something new. I'm Brad Thomas. Let's get back to the picks.
Our next one, the Kansas City Royals taking on the New York Yankees. Seth Lugo versus Marcus Stroman. For me in this one, I'm going to go with the Royals. Take a shot at Kansas City at plus money. Really just more of a fade of Marcus Stroman. He gets a Royals team over the last 30 days. He's really hitting right-handed pitching well. I think they can handle business here. Seth Lugo, I mean, we obviously know, he has like an 8-pitch mix. He's a guy who I think can keep this Yankees team off balance. And I do think the Royals ultimately pick up the win in this matchup. Next one, the New York Mets taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. David Peterson versus Chris Bassett. I like the over. So for me here, David Peterson's a guy who he's going to go in this matchup against this Toronto team who sees a lot of pitches. They're hitting lefties pretty well as of late as well. So really do think they get some runs off of him. Chris Bassett, another guy. Yeah, I mean, the pitch mix is very, wide, and he has a ton of, like 8 different pitches. But overall, just hasn't pitched well this year. He gets a lot of hard contact. Gets a Mets team who, in my opinion, just is going to do some damage. So I like the over. We don't actually have a line yet for this game. I'm expecting an 8.5. And for me, it's just too low. I would play this total up to about 9.5. Play this up to 10 runs. I think that's a comfortable number. Love the over here. Our next one, the Baltimore Orioles taking on the Boston Red Sox. Albert Suarez versus Cutter Crawford. For me here, I mean, I don't want to just keep going overs, but I like the over. You get Albert Suarez, who's coming off one of his worst starts of the season. I really think that kind of just continues here, truthfully. Gets a brutal matchup on, Red Sox over the last 30 days. Not hitting righties the best, but they have a ton of lefties in this lineup, and I really think they do some damage. On the flip side, Cutter Crawford facing an Orioles team is obviously super familiar with him. I think they do some damage. So total's at 9.5. It's a high total for a reason, in my opinion. I think this thing soars over. Our next one, the Los Angeles Angels taking on the Minnesota Twins. Griffin Canning versus Pablo Lopez. I like the Twins minus 1.5. If you want to do the Lopez player performance double, I think that's a great look too. This is just one of those matchups where I think Lopez can kind of do what he wants against the lineup, who in my opinion is overmatched outside of a couple guys. You look at this Angels lineup and a lot of these guys they brought up, I mean, this isn't major league talent. So outside like the top 3-4 guys in this order, I really think that Lopez just kind of has his way with the bottom half of the lineup. Ultimately pitches really well in the spot, and I think Canning can definitely get tagged by this Twins team. Hey guys, I just want to give a quick reminder that new users can bet $5 at FanDuel on any of the bets in this video and win $150 in bonus bets if the bet wins. Now let's get back to the bets. Our next one, the Cleveland Guardians taking on Chicago White Sox. Ben Lively versus Jonathan Cannon. I mean, you have to go to Cleveland here, whether it be on the money line, the run line, however you want it. They're going to beat up on this bad White Sox team. Let's just be real. Jonathan Cannon is the guy who struggled against lefties for much of the season. Going to see a ton of good lefties in this Guardians lineup. Stephen Kwan, J. Ram, Josh Naylor, you name it, they have it. I really think he struggles in this spot. So give me the Guardians, money line, minus 1.5, whatever you want. The next one, Cincinnati taking on the Cardinals. Rhett Lauder versus Andre Palante. Rhett Lauder looked really good against the Astros in his last start. And I honestly, I'm going to take a shot on the Reds. I really am. I think Lauder, he has good stuff. I think he has the stuff to pitch in the bigs. And I think he gets a Cardinals team who's really not hitting right now. Another spot that he can kind of take advantage of. So I'm going to take a shot on the Reds here. I'm sure they'll be plus money because they're on the road. And I think Palante is a turkey tosser. Let's be real. So this Reds team's been tough to figure out. Their bats are seeing more pitches. They're not striking out as much. I think that bodes well for them in this spot. I think that leads to runs. Give me the Reds on the money line here. The Oakland Athletics taking on the Houston Astros. Osvaldo Bido versus Spencer Arrighetti. So for me here, Arrighetti coming off of one of his worst starts in probably recent memory, probably last month or so. I really think he can bounce back here against an Oakland team who is honestly in kind of one of those funks where they're striking out a ton, they're not hitting, and now they got to go on the road. I like the Astros here on the money line. Obviously, minus 185, it's juiced. Pair it with something. But like Arrighetti K, so maybe go the performance double route. For me here, though, it's Astros or nothing. Bido, he's a luck box in my opinion, and that luck will run out here. This Astros team gets to him. Next one, the San Diego Padres taking on the Seattle Mariners. Yu Darvish versus George Kirby. So for me here, I mean, the total's at 6.5. It's an extremely low total, and most of the time you see a total like that, you want to get involved on the under. For me, though, I'm going to take a shot on the over. Obviously, Seattle, one of the lowest batting averages in all baseball. We all know that. But I think they can get a few runs here off of Darvish. And I really think the Padres get some runs off of Kirby. This total is just super low. And it's not going to take much to get us over it, obviously. You know, a 3-4 game, a 5-2 game, we're going over. So give me the over 6.5. It won't be a popular play. I can almost guarantee you the under 6.5 in this game will be one of the most popular plays you see. I just don't see it with the way these pitchers have been. So I will take a shot on the over 6.5. Our next one, Texas Rangers taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Nathan Eovaldi versus Zach Gallen. For me here, it's the Diamondbacks on the money line. I'm not a big Gallen believer this year. Don't think the stuff's as good. But I don't think Eovaldi pitches well against this Diamondbacks lineup. We talked about them before. We talked about them when we took them against the Dodgers. Who did we take about? The Dodgers? Somebody we took them at plus money the other day. This team is starting to find it. They're starting to make some noise here. They're starting to, try to make a run. And I think we continue to see that. I want to back that. I want to back a team that's playing for something. So for me here, the Diamondbacks, they got it all here. They got it all to lose. They got it all, all to gain, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. They're playing for something. Give me the Diamondbacks on the money line. Our next one, the Milwaukee Brewers taking on San Francisco Giants. Aaron Savale versus Hayden Birdsong. I like the Brewers. Really simple. Hayden Birdsong has been good. I like Hayden Birdsong a lot. I like his stuff. But I think he struggles with this matchup here against the Brewers. And Savale, definitely not a guy I'm running to the window to back. But just think that this Giants team in the form they've been in lately, he can take advantage of it. They've been striking out a lot, not really hitting that well overall. It just feels like a spot where the Brewers can pick up a win, on the road And honestly, we don't have a price yet, but I imagine we probably get close to plus money because Savali is not going to get any kind of line respect in this game. The last one on this slate, the Chicago Cubs taking on the Dodgers. Shota Imanaga versus Yoshinobu Yamamoto. So Yoshi is back. Sure, he'll be limited. The Dave Roberts special, without question. They're not going to run him out there and just drive him into the ground. That being said, I like the Dodgers in this spot. I like him on the money line. I mean, obviously, Shota, I think he pitches relatively well as well. This is a guy who's been really good all season. But for me here, it's the Dodgers at home. It's Yoshi. And if there was ever a team, in my opinion, who can get to Shota, it's this Dodgers lineup. So give me the Dodgers on the money line here. Once again, I don't have a price for yet. I imagine it's going to be pretty playable. So Dodgers on the money line. That does conclude our slate, though. If you guys do me a favor, drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys are playing. I didn't run a video for the games for today because it's only like 6 games and it really wasn't worth it, in my opinion, to throw out like a 4-minute video. So here we are for this one. My 3 best bets before we hop off. Dodgers on the money line, Diamondbacks on the money line, and number 3, we are going to go with the over in the Mets-Blue Jays game. As always, you can get all of my official plays at goldboys.com. If you have a gambling problem, don't want to hire a gambler. Thank you, guys.